and democracy.
Hello and welcome. You are watching the newsroom. Now, breaking this hour, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has announced a sweeping overhaul of state-owned energy companies following a major corruption scandal that saw around $100 million embezzled from the sector. The scandal revealed amid Russian attacks that have caused severe power outrages, prompted Zelensky to order the resignation of 2 ministers and sanction a former business partner at the heart of the scheme. Now, Zelensky said that the overhaul would include a full audit of financial activities and a renewal of company management. Energoatom, which is the state nuclear company involved, will have a new supervisory board within a week. Now, reforms are also planned for hydropower companies and oil and gas giant Naftogaz, with new leadership appointments expected swiftly. The president emphasized full cooperation with anti-corruption bodies and has said transparency and integrity in the energy sector remain an absolute priority, responding to calls from European allies for stronger anti-graft measures. Now, moving on, more developments coming in. The Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has warned that Europe is on the brink of war during a rally, calling for peace amid the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Orban addressed supporters at what he described as an anti-war rally, declaring there is danger of war in Europe. Now, at the rally, Orban called for peace and blamed Western nations for escalating the Russia-Ukraine conflict by providing weapons, money, and personnel. Now, the rally comes as Orban and his Fidesz party campaign ahead of the 2026 elections, framing themselves as guarantors of peace in Hungary. Let's listen in to what they had to say.
Biztosan sokan vannak, akikkel ebben az ügyben, békeügyben nincs vitánk. És az lenne jó, hogyha ők is velünk tartanák, nem a Fidesszel, hanem mondjuk a magyarokkal, vagy a békeszerető magyarokkal, hanem egy háború ellenes gyűlésen vagyunk. Háború ellenes gyűlést akkor kell tartani, ha veszély van. Jelentem, tisztelt győriek, Európában háborús veszély van. Nem azért állunk ki a béke mellett, mert rendes emberek vagyunk, remélem ez is igaz, hanem azért állunk ki, mert most ki kell állni. Európa a háború küszöbén áll. Háború Oroszország és Ukrajna között.
Now, staying in the region, Russian Defense Ministry has recently released images which show explosions and the presence of troops in Ukraine's Yablov region. The images very clearly feature uniformed soldiers holding Russian flags in the small Ukrainian settlement. Now, the ministry claims that its forces have captured Yablokov in Zaporizhzhia region. The authenticity or date of the images have not been verified by external sources yet. Now, this comes as reports of Ukraine deploying a new counter-drone system named DW-1 emerged a day ago. The system reportedly creates an aerial barrier using swarms of interceptors drones. Now, according to experts, it uses advanced technology while relying on low-cost expendable drones. This particular strategy aims to counter Russia's mass deployment of the Geron-2 drones and the UMPK bombs around Ukrainian war frontiers. Now, moving on with more news coming in, thousands of delegates, activists, and journalists have gathered in Belém, which is in Brazil, for the COP30 climate talks amid tropical heat and rising tensions. Protesters demand urgent action, warning against further privatization of natural resources and water. Developing nations fear their voices are overshadowed by wealthy countries and fossil fuel lobbyists, making meaningful progress very difficult. Let's in fact listen in to what a few protesters had to say.
Basta de engañarnos, basta de hacer el trance que hacen con las grandes empresas mineras petroleras. Nosotras aquí estamos para defender a nuestra madre tierra, para defender a la abuela que es el mar. Nosotras no queremos más privatización de nuestra madre tierra, no queremos privatización del agua.
I want them to ignore the fossil fuel lobbyists and think of the people, think of the indigenous people who are protecting the land around here beautifully and need to continue doing that.
Je suis ici avec la Via Campesina et la Confédération Paysanne pour dénoncer les fausses solutions climatiques qui sont négociées ici à Belém, en particulier tous les marchés carbone et les mécanismes financiers qui ne permettent pas du tout de régler le problème climatique et qui par contre impactent fortement les paysans et les agriculteurs dans le monde entier, où leurs territoires sont volés par des entreprises qui veulent ensuite vendre des crédits carbone par exemple.
Now, with further developments coming in, a cache of confiscated explosive detained inside a police station in Indian administered Kashmir, killing at least 9 people and injuring 32 others. Now, according to Nalin Prabhat, Police Director General, the blast occurred in the Novgam area of Srinagar, the region's main city, last Friday, when a team of forensic experts and police were examining the explosive material. Now, according to reports, the dead include 6 police and forensic officials, 2 civilian administrators and 1 civilian. The police and security forces are maintaining heavy presence at the site, which has been cornered off as investigations continue to determine the exact cause of the accidental denotation. Let's listen in to what a few locals had to say.
कल इतना ज़ोर से ब्लास्ट लगा है कि हमने बोला पहले हवाई कुछ हो गया, मगर जब हमने मौके पे गए तो वहाँ बड़ा ब्लास्ट हो गए थे और वहाँ कम से कम मतलब इंजर्ड भी बहुत हो गया। हमारे रिलेटिव है मोहम्मद शफी फरीद साहब, ये एक टेलर मास्टर था, ये गया था सुबह इनको काम करने के लिए गया था काम करने के लिए, उसके कारण से फिर नमाज के लिए वापस भी आ गया था, फिर दोबारा गया, फिर शाम को खाने के लिए भी आया था और ये गया था, फिर इनको लगा कि वहाँ पे ये साइकिल पे गया था, उसके केस पे पता चला इनकी।
Well, now staying in the region, families of victims from a deadly nightclub fire have held a protest march in northern Macedonia's Skopje region. Now, thousands of protesters have carried photos of the 63 victims killed in the incident and held banners demanding justice and accountability. Now, the fire took place back in March in the town of Kokani at a packed, unlicensed nightclub. Now, according to reports, sparks ignited the roof during a live band performance, killing 63 people and injured over 150 others. Hundreds struggled to escape through the small venue, only exit as fire spread. The trail of 34 suspects, including nightclub officials, the owner, band members, police, and security is set to start next week. Let's now turn into the protesters and listen to what they had to say during the march.
Почитувани граѓани, денес зборуваме не само како јавност, туку и луѓе, како луѓе кои загубија нешто што никогаш нема да може да се врати. Зборуваме како семејства, како родители и како луѓе кои што сватија дека трагедијата што се случи во Кочани може да му се случи на било кој. И никој не е заштитен кога институциите не ја вршат својата работа. Ова не е политички повик. Ова е повик од срце за правда, за вистина и за човечност.
Надеж дека нема да заборавиме, надеж дека нема да се откажеме и надеж дека конечно во оваа држава ќе имаме процес во кој што сите одговорни ќе одговараат, а не само главите кои што биле избрани да го задоволат нашиот гнев.
Now, with more news coming in about more tragedies, aerial images of fire at an industrial area outside the Argentine capital have been reported. A series of powerful explosions have rocked the Poligono Spegazzi industrial park south of Buenos Aires, sparking a massive fire across the facility. Now, aerial footage shows thick plumes of smoke rising from the site, with flames engulfing multiple sections of the industrial area. Emergency teams responded quickly, working to contain the blaze and prevent it from spreading to nearby buildings. Now, according to reports, at least 22 people have been hospitalized with injuries sustained during the explosions and subsequent fire. Authorities continue to investigate the cause of the blasts, while firefighters remain on high alert as they battle the ongoing inferno. Now, moving on with further updates coming in from France. Several armed men attempted to rob a boutique of a luxury brand called Chanel in the center of Paris. Now, according to reports, 4 men armed with pistols and an axe tried to break in the Chanel studio and a watch and jewelry store located at 42 Avenue Montégier. The attackers tried to ram the entrance to the store using scooters, but the guard managed to lower the protective grills. As a result, the defendants abandoned the robbery and fled.